Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Daisel. I'm from the Unisa Directorate for Counselling and Career Development. A very warm welcome to all of you this afternoon. We are very much looking forward to the team from Ijobi who will be sharing more with us about specifically CV writing. Before we start with our session, just a couple of short announcements. You may have noticed that your camera and your microphone are currently disabled, but we will enable your microphone during the live Q&A session. We do, however, encourage you that as you are listening to the presentation, please ask any questions that you have in the Q&A and chat, and we will attend to those after the presentation. Just in terms of the Q&A and the chat, we just ask that you don't share any personal information. That would be your personal email address and your telephone number. That's just to protect your privacy. We are recording the session and you will receive an email with a link to the recording. So our program for this afternoon, I'm doing the welcome now. Mrs. Mandu Makanya, my colleague, will then do, excuse me, the introduction to our speakers. Then we will have the presentation, job searching and CV writing in a changing world of work. And after the presentation, some time for Q&A. And then my other colleague who have joined us, Mr. Beki Mzobi, will then formally end off the session for us with a thank you. So on that note, I will invite Mrs. Mandu Makanya if she could just introduce our speakers to us. Thank you, Mandu.
Thank you, Lisa. It gives me pleasure this morning to introduce our three speakers for today. First, I would like to introduce Ms. Mangele Mphahlele, who is the CEO and career coach at Ijobi, an HR tech company that connects employers to job seekers. Ijobi provides applicant tracking tools, candidate sourcing solutions, verification checks, and recruitment dashboards for employers or hiring managers. She will be sharing how digital transformation is impacting careers. And second, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have Ms. Mbalingema, who is a production developer and talent recruiter at Ijobi. Her main roles focus on understanding employer recruitment to build features for the Ijobi platform. She will be sharing on CV writing specifically. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have Ms. Poncho Bureni, who is a talent recruiter supporting Ijobi hiring managers using the platform to be on dashboarded and source for candidates. She will be sharing ways on how you can stand out and increase your employability. Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our Unisa hands together as we welcome our speakers on our virtual stage. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, and over to you, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mandu. Smangile and the team, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much to our colleagues at Unisa and for the lovely introduction. So what we're going to do now is that Poncho is going to tell you a little bit about our platform. So every time we do a presentation, you always want to share a little bit about what we do, how we help job seekers as well, as much as our solution is get more at employers, but we also have services that we provide for free for job seekers. I'll hand over to Poncho, and then she'll guide you through that. And then after Poncho does that, we're going to do a short level Mentimeter where we just want to engage you a little bit before we start our session so that we can understand who we are talking to. In the meantime, in the chats, can you start getting a little bit of who you are, which faculty are you in, or maybe you can also tell us, are you employed or not, or are you seeking job opportunities? I'll hand over to Poncho to start speaking about the platform and what it does.
Okay, thank you, Sma, and good morning, everyone. I'm gonna tell you a bit background about Ijobi, who we are. So Ijobi, we connect job seekers and employers. We do share jobs on our job board, different job opportunities from your internship, entry level and middle level jobs. And we also do offer job seeking coaching services, and we do mock interviews and CV reviews. So the benefits of eJobby as a job seeker, it can reduce job seeking costs, and also you can get job opportunity alerts on your emails, and you can send more job applications with limited access to the internet. So when you want to register on eJobby, you can dial this number using our WhatsApp services, which is 060-070-2065. You can just say hi to this number, you follow in the instructions, you register, you'll be able to upload your CV and upload your documents. Or you can just use our platform and navigate to Job Seeker. On our system, you can be able to send your CVs using our SMS services. When you don't have enough data to send your CV applications using our platform, you can dial this number 44151. Then on your text message, you type CV star, the employer's email address star, then job title. Our system will package everything that you will have uploaded on our system and send it to the recruiter's email or the hiring manager's email. So before we can go straight to our first presentations, we'll run a little Mentimeter. Can we get everyone to the Mentimeter? Then I'll share my screen and the code.
Okay, it's Smangele speaking here again. The team is going to share the Mentimeter with you. You have to take your phones, those that are able to access the internet. You have to go to www.mentimeter.com. Mbali is typing it in the chats, and then Bonte is going to share a code with you, and then you'll be able to join the Mentimeter. When you join, just do hearts so that we know that you are there and you are connecting with us. So the first Mentimeter that we're going to ask is, do you know the impact of digital transformation on your careers? I know it might be a simplistic question to ask. However, it's a very important question to ask because some of us don't really know what digital transformation is. And I'm going to share a little bit about that before we go into CV writing, just to give you a sense. And then I also asked people to tell us where or which faculties they're coming from, which qualifications they are doing. It will also help us to give examples and be able to connect with you in terms of some of the content that we're going to share with you. So we've got Nomvelo. She says she's studying a Bachelor of Information Science, so you're very relevant, Nomvelo, to digital transformation. Rafilo is studying a BCom Accounting Science. Thank you very much, Rafilo, for sharing with us. And you are unemployed, so please use our services so that we can support you. Okay, we're getting answers already. 5 people are already saying yes, they do know the impact of digital transformation. For those people that have responded, I'm going to challenge you. Can you just put what you know about it and how it's going to impact in the chats? Let us know and share with your other colleagues if you do know how digital transformation is going to impact your career. We have we have 1 no, and we have 3 not sures. So let's just keep the answers coming through. We have Volonte. She's doing community development. That'll be interesting. I'm thinking about how we can link it to digital transformation. We've got Malihu, who's doing a creative writing, BA in creative writing. And yeah, Malihu, I'm sure you know of all these tools that are out there. And we're going to chat about a few things today related to that as well, the creative industry. We've got a Bachelor of Science from CMO, and we've got a BA in psychology. Very interesting. One of the jobs that are not really going to change are human-centric jobs, like psychologists, people that support the human factor. So that's interesting, and we'll talk more about that. We've got 1.8 people. I don't know why it's 1.8. So
Also 2.6
and 2.6. So the numbers are going down. For those that are saying, yes, I am sure I know what digital transformation is going to do for my career, can you please share with us in the chats to say, how do you know that it's going to impact, or what is the impact rather that you are aware of that's going to impact your career? We've got more psychology people. I've got a psychology background as well. Auditing from Mushala. good for me to understand all this and connect it to the presentation, because you are going to be impacted by digital transformation if you're not yet already. You are at Unisa. I know Unisa is a Microsoft partner, and I'm sure in the services that they're providing to you, they are giving you Office 365. There's things like Copilot as well that are coming up when it comes to AI. And how are you using that also to help you study effectively and be able to reach your goals with your studies using AI? We've got BSc in Geography. That's very interesting. I guess, Refilo, you can tell us more about what are you learning in Geography, just to get a bit of an understanding. I'm curious about that. And then we have a BA Hons in Development Studies. Some of the human-centric jobs or careers like human studies are definitely not going to be so much impacted by AI, in a sense that the jobs will not diminish or disappear. However, how you do the job as a human scientist might definitely change. That's the land of things currently. We've got linguistics and psychology again, and then we have currently unemployed. We have a few people that have responded. I don't know if it's the averaging of this tool or what, or people have responded rather, and we don't understand how this tool works, eh? Digital transformation right here in the presentation, people, and we're experiencing it in real life. And we are not knowing how to use our tool right now, read it. But yeah, I think we've got an idea of a few people do not understand digital transformation and how it's going to impact their careers, rather, not necessarily do not understand. We have a master's in international politics. Yeah, we had a minister just talk about how they use ChatGPT the other day for one of their responses to something. And it's quite interesting how the digital transformation is hitting us in all layers. Okay, we can go to our presentation, Bonso. I think we've gotten enough. And then we'll do another Mentimeter when Bali is about to speak, so we don't have to do that one Mentimeter. So you can share the presentation. So very interesting. Oh, and then we've got while sponsor is sharing, we've got a B. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Kemi. It's a beaker in healthcare. Definitely digital transformation is a huge thing. Ponso, we're still not seeing the presentation, we are seeing the Mentimeter, but there's going to be a huge impact in the healthcare industry with digital transformation if you haven't experienced it as yet. Interesting. Then Zama is doing a B.Ed. Yes, someone in education. Definitely digital transformation. We've seen it do a lot of changes in terms of that industry. So you can go to the next slide, Bonso. Keep on responding on the Mentimeter. We'll share it with the team afterwards once we've figured out the results. Great. So definitely AI, machine learning, if you're not tired of these concepts by now, they're just everywhere. And that's what everybody talks about. And the thing about digital transformation is that it's not just going to impact careers, but it's also going to impact businesses, corporates, and it's going to impact them at a process layer. It's going to impact them at an employee layer, and it's also going to impact organization at a customer layer. So digital transformation doesn't just impact the people side or the career side only, but it's also impacting industries, it's impacting governments, and it's impacting in general how we are working and how we are delivering on the services towards our customers and towards our constituents. So it's in all aspects of society as well. Our kids are loving gadgets, our kids are using gadgets, and schools also are using technology as a integrator to learning. The other thing as well is that it's not just going to impact just corporate companies and societies as well, and I've also mentioned governments as well. It will impact certain industries as well, like healthcare, education, aviation. In some instances, we already started experiencing carless, driverless cars. Cars that drive themselves already. In the US, they already have trucks that are driving themselves, delivering goods and so forth. And you can see what that impact is going to be in general to our society. I'm very worried because when I watch some of these movies, for the future. You see people plugged into tech. They literally don't leave their homes anymore. So the impacts are definitely going to be huge. But the reality is, as much as the impact is going to be huge on the job side as well, it's not going to change some aspects of the fact that we are human. And it's very important to understand how we can bring the human side and the technology side to work, but ultimately making us better as humans, but not taking away our humanity. That's what I worry about when it comes to tech and digital transformation. However, what I understand is that the AI, the machine learning, the robotics, and all this fancy stuff that we are experiencing right now is not necessarily going to take away jobs, right? It's actually going to transform how jobs are done and what jobs we do. And some jobs obviously will diminish altogether. But at the end of the day, a machine can never be better than a human being. But it's how do we as professionals leverage all these tools to make sure that we are improving our productivity at work. So some of the key drivers, I've started to mention them already, of digital transformation. We've got AI in writing, AI in cars, AI in healthcare. We've got AI everywhere. A lot of us use ChatGPT. Some of us use Amazon tools like Alexa. Some of us have Siri on our phones. That is AI. And now if I want to ask something, I don't have to go and even type. I can just tell Siri and say, Siri, do this for me, or Siri, type this for me, and so forth. So there is an advantage, obviously, to having this AI. And then the machine learning side is where the machine learns certain repetitive tasks that we're supposed to do. There are some tasks that are very repetitive and machines can do. And in us as humans, we can focus on the critical things that really matter. In the retail industry, we're starting to see a lot of automation and robotics. I'm sure some of you have been to McDonald's and you've seen how McDonald's has reduced their cashiers, and customers literally just do the whole buying cycle for themselves. I've been to a hotel in China where a robot was delivering food in the passage. And it was literally going to, different rooms and delivering the food. And then they're cleaning robots as well. So you can see what the impact is going to be there in terms of jobs. But what I can assure you is to say that the jobs that are going to come, they're going to definitely be better for us as humans. So it's not to say that all jobs are going to disappear. I know Bill Gates has a different argument to this. And then there's things like big data and analytics. I'm sure on social media, you talk about something with your friends, and then the next thing you know, it starts popping up, right? I'm always getting shocked about that. Those are algorithms that learn. And when you don't switch off your phone, you must check your phone settings as well, right? To check if you're switching off the aspect of the phone being able to record what you're saying and being able to receive your conversation. And that's the AI happening right now. And we all have it in our devices, and it's at play. So with big data, that's what's happening with social media. It's the type of data that comes in, what we talk about, and then what the AI does, it starts aligning content for you based on your interests, what you're searching on the internet, and so forth. And then there's IoT, this Internet of Things. There's fridges that will tell you, fill me up, I am empty, or there's lights that will switch on by themselves. And I think some of these aspects we've already started to experience them. And then obviously with all of this, it starts driving remote work, and it starts driving collaboration as a way of working remotely or hybrid in some instances. So those are the key drivers of AI. I'm trying to explain the most, general examples that we can all connect to and see how AI is already here and it's already driving our lives. I mean, some of the cars I know for Haval can park themselves. We don't even need keys anymore. These cars have voice recognition. So it's crazy. But I like it because it's making life easier for us. But sometimes it blows my mind as to what digital transformation and technology is doing. So I've already spoken about the job market and the impact, right, in terms of where it might impact some roles. It will definitely impact companies and how they do business and so forth. But there are more new roles that are emerging. So in the IT space, we used to have network engineers. We used to have server engineers. We used to have desktop engineers. And that has evolved to AI engineers. That has evolved to data scientists. data analysts, and so forth. And these are some of the roles that are coming up, people that come up with algorithms as well. So IT in itself is also evolving in terms of the type of roles that are coming up, because we have to meet the demand of the industry and people in terms of what they're looking for. So some traditional roles are definitely going to disappear. I mean, let's look at banking. Who has been to a bank over the last month or so? I haven't. Raise your hands. Let's see on the chats there. How long have you been to certain things? Because the reality is you're able to do everything online. I'm able to do all my banking and so forth. And you can already see what that's going to do to banking. You can already see what that's going to do to roles in the banking industry. I mean, you already see in the food space of McDonald's, you can already see that the number of jobs that are going to come up in certain industries, they're going to be lesser because of the automation. People like data capturers, I haven't seen a job, or we haven't even seen a customer that comes to us and say, we're looking for a data capturer, because now data capturing is not a thing. You know, there's tech, there's tools, there's all this AI that can do this data capturing very easy for us. Jobs like reception, you know, those jobs along the way, some are going to diminish because, well, there might be AI to root calls, AI to manage, customers coming in, because there's fingerprints, there's all these recognition tools that you can access to get into a building. The AI is going to even get further to know who you are. By the time you come, it will even know what level of access you're going to have to the building, which floors you must access, and where you must go before you even arrive. So those are some of the jobs that are going to take a hit. But it's not to say we can't evolve and shift to the other aspects of growing with new roles in the AI space. And then obviously there's increased demand for skills in digital spaces. And the reality is nowadays it's beyond Office, it's beyond Excel, it's beyond PowerPoint. Now you need to be more aware in terms of some digital tools that can help you do your job. So these are some of the things that are going to happen. That's how work is going to be impacted. And already we're experiencing with remote work because COVID did fast track us to get there. Then in terms of the digital skills that you need for future careers, all of us need it, whether you're doing psychology, you're doing accounting. Accountants are becoming data analysts, by the way. And then there are certain tools that are going to take out the menial jobs of what we do in accounting, where we can link our banks and then be able to do entries. And then what you're now going to do now is actually just understand the data. SARS is also already using AI. I don't like that AI because now it's impacting how I pay SARS and what I'm supposed to do. And the AI is able to pick up on transactions and so forth. And then it automatically will start flagging you and actually even change your tax status because there are certain things that the AI feels are not correct, or certain transactions and so forth. So you can see what that's going to do to the accounting space, what that's going to do to the finance space, and how we need to quickly start evolving. As much as we're doing our degrees now, how are we making sure that we're getting these future skills? Because unfortunately, the wave is going to hit us very quickly. Already, your Chinese and your Americas of the world, they're already on 5G and they're moving on to better Gs, and we are still on 4G and we're not catching up. So unfortunately, the wave is going to hit us very quickly. So these are some of the skills. Technical skills wise, all of us have to learn how to do data analytics. Whether you're in HR, data is everywhere. Whether you're in schools, remember marks, results, kids, that's data, right? We have to make sure we understand everything about data and the basics around data analysis. And we've got tools already that can make it very easy for you. It's not to say you're going to be a developer and develop those tools, but the tools are there already. Coding, not so much, because also AI is taking that away. Code can be written by an AI very quickly. So even coding is disappearing because we're just going to drag and drop and do some of these things. AI tools that are in our day-to-day life, there are so many, it's overwhelming. There are AI tools for writing, there are AI tools for marking, there are AI tools for content, there are AI tools for video, there are AI tools for HR. So there's just so many AI tools that are out there, and you have to understand what's out there and start learning. I hope this is helpful. Can I get emojis just to get a sense of where we are and if this is helpful for you and the team? If there's anything to add, please do add. Soft skills side, I cannot emphasize on this. Critical thinking is the key thing, right? because AI is going to do all the simple, repetitive stuff. So you know how you need to be a problem solver and have critical thinking skills and be adaptable. And then continuously learn, because the tools are just hitting us left, right, and center. And if you're stagnant and you don't upskill yourself on a regular basis, you're going to be left behind. Because now, if I can get an accountant who understands Sage more than just inputting in Sage and all the financial stuff, I want an accountant who also can give me data that can tell me how the business is going to perform, what is the predictability of the business, and so forth, and be able to show it to me visually. So some of the industry-specific transformations that are going to happen, they're already there already. We've got a lot of e-learning tools. We've got a lot of tools that I'm sure you're using at Unisa. There are AI tutors right now. You don't need someone or a tutor to tell you X, Y, and Z. You can literally go to the internet and find an AI tool or download an app with a tool. I learned from ChatGPT, and I'll actually learn topics from ChatGPT, and I don't need to talk to anybody. And then there are all these online courses, Coursera, and so forth. And I think some of it, Ponzo is going to speak to. The healthcare industry, we're already seeing it, AI in diagnostics, where with the machine learning, the machine is taught different aspects of diagnosis, of imagery, and so forth. And the AI is able to then diagnose a patient, right? So you can see also the healthcare industry is going to change. The human will always be required, but how do we make sure that we are integral and we are understanding how this technology can help us? Finance, I've already spoken about banking. We are all doing digital banking. And then the reality is there's so many other products that are coming in finance that are quite interesting. And, we don't have to leave our homes to open a bank account. I don't know when was the last time I went to a bank to open an account. I remember I just did a Time Bank account like quite easily within 5 minutes and so forth. So you can see those changes and what they mean to you. It's not for us to be scared in terms of the careers, but it's to how do we make sure we understand all these tools and how they're going to impact us and how we're going to build our productivity. I don't know if there are questions, comments, and anything to say, team, or share, or even in the chats, please, if there's insights or anything else that you know. I'm just sharing a little bit of what I know and what I understand. Somebody put an AI note taker in here already in the session, right? We've got an OTA session, an OTA note taking session. Yeah, that's AI, and it's taking notes. We don't have to write minutes anymore. So minute takers and so forth are not necessary anymore. In the past, you used to have a secretary, and their job was to take minutes, and then those jobs just, you can see, have disappeared. We've spoken about retail. I don't know who went to Zara in Sandton. Zara in Sandton, you check out yourself, you pay yourself. You don't have to be going to a cashier to pay. So these are some of the things that we are seeing in retail, and in all the data that they're getting from our buying habits and our spends, they're using that to analyze our patterns and then to make sure that their advertising is very specific to us and we're able to buy. And engineering is also changing. Yes, we've got mechanical, electrical, and so forth, but we have things like industrial IoT, we have things like mechatronics and so forth, and you can see with buildings, with some of the tools, things are changing. So all the industries are not immune. They're going to be touched and transformed in a way. So in terms of the strategies that you can adopt, you need to start thinking about what strategies that you can adopt now. Don't wait for yourself to qualify and then you start thinking about it, because when you're going to look for a job, you need to start being proficient in some of the things that I'm talking about. So start now, start today. If that creative writing person, that psychology person, there are many tools out there from a psychology perspective for diagnosis, for patient engagements. Start understanding what are those tools, those that you can learn now. Go online, upskill yourself. There are many free courses that you don't have to pay for on Udemy. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Coursera, LinkedIn as well has a lot of wealth of information on courses and certifications that you can take. So by the time you graduate and you are looking for that job, or you're looking for that job now, you can already show that you've got skills. Remember, I always tell people, companies don't wanna, it's not just about experience. I can have 10 years experience, but not have good skills, right? So it's about skills. You can have zero experience in terms of work, but have the right skills. And that's what you need to be doing right now to build yourself. Leverage off some of the networks that I've just spoken about. And also for job search, Mbali will speak a little bit about those as well. And we'll share a little bit about how to job search in a strategic way. And make sure you attend webinars. Again, on LinkedIn, there are groups to join, there are forums to join. Join them. so that by the time you are getting out into the job industry, you already understand what value you're going to add to the employer. Remember, it's not about experience, it's about the skill sets you can already immediately impact the employer with. Gain practical experience, and I know internships are over time, but things like hackathons, if you check on LinkedIn, on the internet, there are many hackathons. You don't have to be a developer or skilled in IT. You can actually develop a solution as a community development student and start, developing products and services that can leverage off technology. And for those that are in IT, start building your portfolios. I'm sure you know about things like GitHub. There are so many tools that are out there where you can start, building your own code, showcasing your work. Also do blogs as well. If you're a psychologist or you're interested in psychology, you're interested in finance, the way you use your social media should showcase you in terms of the type of skills that you're already possessing to the potential employers and to the public at large. Those that are wanting to go into business as well, there's an opportunity to start now if you can. I don't know if there are any questions or comments, but keep the chats warm. I don't see anything in the chats in Bali. People are not chatting. Hey, people must chat. What are you thinking about this? Please tell us, give us feedback. So the next steps for you, if I were you, start identifying what are your current skills. What do you have currently? What are your strengths, right? Remember, it's got nothing to do with your experience, but skills, right? And then see what are the AI tools, looking at the areas you're in. Again, you can just go to ChatGPT and say, I'm an education student. Please tell me what type of tools are out there for a teacher in order to leverage off different subjects. You can even go further. There are jobs that are going to be created by this. They call them prompt engineers, right? Because those, we call them prompts. You have to know how to prompt the tools, and then see what path you can take before you get out. Start looking at what are the paths that you can start taking that align with your interests, that is aligned to what you're studying currently. And then start learning those tools today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait to get the job. Start now. And then network and engage. Again, LinkedIn is a powerful resource, guys, that I know a lot of people are not using very well. It's not just about looking for a job, but training, learning. There's so much wealth of information. And then when you also join some of these groups, you get to network with people that are already in that particular industry. I think that's all I have. Do I have other slides, Ponso, in terms of this? Are there any questions in regarding to this? Please put them in the chat if you have questions. Can we get emojis to get to know how you feel? Kopisa says, which AI tools align with financial management? Kopisa, there are many and I don't know, but ChatGPT will definitely know. So you can take that question exactly as it is, put it in ChatGPT, and then it can give you tools. The thing is, there are hundreds of them. I know I'm already using like 4 or 5 on some of the things that I'm working with. And then the other question is, what is the best path for public relations? So definitely, public relations is related to digital marketing and digital media. That's one of the things that I know is growing, and transformation. Digital transformation is definitely impacting that industry. So if you're in marketing and you're doing anything related to marketing and sales, you have to consider digital marketing and understand what's in digital marketing. Again, you can ask ChatGPT and it will answer some of the questions for you. But remember, the prompts need to be strong. You need to be more clearer so that the results are more or less what you want them to be. Okay, I think I'm done. We can get the questions going. I'm going to hand over to Bonso, so she'll do a bit of continuation in terms of what I was sharing. But then the key takeaways is that digital transformation is coming. It's already here, whether we like it or not. Very important to upskill yourself and make sure that you can adapt. Employers are looking for skilled people, not experienced. The more you're skilled, the more you're a critical thinker, the more you're a problem solver, the more you'll be able to bag good jobs and good opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Sma, for the beautiful presentation. I'm just going to continue on what Sma was talking about. So I'll be speaking on tips and tools to future-proof your career and enhancement employability.
Bonso, I think we have a Mentimeter, do we?
We do.
We do?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do it at the end?
We can do it now.
All right. Let's break the energy and do a Mentimeter.
Okay.
But in the meantime, questions, comments, can we get them in the in the chats. Can we get people talking if possible? But I know that you were muted. But if you have any questions, any comments, I don't know from my Unisa colleagues, is there any comments you have, any insights, any sharings? Daisel, I see your mic is open.
Thanks. Well, I think, when you mentioned the impact of all of these new technologies, I think the big question for all of us to ask is, have we checked, for the kind of opportunities we are preparing for, the kind of industries we want to work in, what might the possible impact be? So, of course, we can't, accurately predict, but it's a good idea, to start, if you haven't already, thinking about, let's say, for example, you are interested in writing, how did AI tools, for example, impact how people write, but also the kind of opportunities that are available. So I guess it's more of a kind of reflection question, and also, as you said, even using these AI tools to help us understand the impact.
No, thank you for that. Definitely. That's a powerful insight there and summarization of what we just discussed. So I see Nomfundo and says, I'd like to know if a CV, okay, we're coming to the CV, Nomfundo, be patient, Mbali's coming. Why are most companies no longer accepting volunteers? Well, it takes a lot of energy and effort to train people, right? And then also for the human scientists, they would know that the culture is a huge factor for organizations. And if they take you in, you definitely must be someone special who's got skill sets that can add value. So it's not also to say companies don't take, but the other thing is, what value are you showing to them? How are you selling yourself? And we'll talk a little bit about that in the CV side of things. You don't have to worry about having job experience. Remember, Nomvelo, what I said is get the skills now. Start upskilling yourself. By the time you get to that opportunity, you need to be able to showcase, with this skill set, this is the value that I can add to you, Mr. Employer. And also, when you approach people, start seeing what the problems are, research them effectively. So when you go there, you can say, I see that you are having a problem in X, and I believe that I'm that person that can solve it for you. Give me an opportunity for a month or two. Let me try it. And if it doesn't work, then you can decide what to do, right? So these are some of the things that you can think about in terms of approaching people. Malihu says, I think as a person who's gaining critical thinking skills through creative writing, I must create tangible solutions and show them to employer. Yes, yes, you're into creative writing and so forth, but what have you developed? What body of work can you showcase? What portfolio can you put together so that people can really see, oh, okay, Malihu is really serious about creative writing. Even for the interview, write a piece, about for the company, maybe for something that they are doing, and display that the fact that you've got the skills. We've got Oz Daisel. Thank you, Daisel. She responded to Taman. Thank you very much. But what is the pathway? And she's saying you can leverage off the counseling directorate. Please leverage off these services that Unisa is offering you. They are for you, and they'll help you a lot as well. And I'm sure they've got tools that can help you to figure out certain things for yourself. Nomfundo says, noted, I'm ahead of myself. Thank you. Can you tell us what's making you ahead, Nomfundo? Can you share with us? So Ponto's Mentimeter is, what is the one skill you believe is essential for future career success? And I think I've shared some of it already. Critical thinking, definitely.
Being multilingual.
Yes, because if you're going to remote work for a company in Spain, in France, or remote work for a company in Congo, it might be a good idea to have multilingual skills, especially with remote work. You can apply for jobs anywhere in the world.
Another one is continuous learning.
Continuous learning, right? I cannot. Otherwise, you will become that auntie that has been there for 20 years in one job and you don't shift. And then when there's retrenchments, you're the first person they normally say deadwood, right? Deadwood means those are the people that are not upskilling, not learning, not adding any value to the business.
And there's always like free courses online. We can always upskill ourselves into the continuous learning there.
No, awesome. So we've shared that, and people must know that it's very important to use all these resources that are there for you. And maybe Mbali just type some of the online tools we've mentioned. There's Coursera, there's Udemy, there's Allison. I like Allison as well. There is ALISON.
Okay.
And then there's
Also LinkedIn Learning.
Yeah, LinkedIn Learning is powerful, guys. I learned a business analysis skill on LinkedIn. That was powerful. And I had to support the team to deliver a product to a customer. And I had no clue what it was, but LinkedIn helped me to do that. Be tech savvy. It does not matter, whether you're doing a BA, whether you're doing a BCom, whether you're doing it's very important that you are tech savvy because you're going to meet tech everywhere. Perseverance, yeah. Unfortunately, with some of these things, they can be quite tough. So if you don't have a persevering nature, you might just give up very quickly. Problem solving, we've spoken about it. Leadership and empathy, that is one of the other things. Emotional intelligence, guys. One of the things that gets people ahead in organization is not just your IQ. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you rub your colleagues the wrong way and you're always making your boss angry, the reality is, you're not going to get far ahead. Even if you're brilliant, hey, they'll just block you because the way you just interact with them is not the best. So there is the EQ quotient, which is the emotional intelligence, and the human scientists will know some of these things. There is the adversity quotient as well. Somebody spoke about being persevering. And there is the IQ that that's obvious, which that's where the critical thinking, the cognition has to work. And then lastly, what is it? I spoke about 3. There's a 4th one, the social quotient, right? Knowing how to socialize very well with other people. Those are some of the skill sets that will make you very successful in your
What if I can't
career.
socialize? Like personally, I can't.
You have to learn the skill to socialize. Then it's an opportunity for you to start going to networking things, start attending conferences. There are many free conferences in the different faculties that we have. Then you start practicing. We have a piece on professional summary that we'll share a little bit about and how you can use that as a networking tool to help you to be able to sell yourself on. So unfortunately, one of the biggest skills you need to have, people, is selling skills. You need to know how to sell yourself. And selling skills, it does not matter in what, studies you're in or profession you're in, being able to sell yourself is one of the most important skills that you need to have. And it's not just about selling yourself as well, selling an idea, right? Selling a process to your colleagues. So selling skills are very, very important skills. So as part of your learnings, please make sure you add selling skills to your upskilling.
Someone is saying availability on the Mentimeter.
Availability on the Mentimeter?
Yes.
Availability. Okay, maybe, I don't know what they mean. They can put it in the chat. But yeah, being available. The reality is, guys, when you get to work, you will see there's no overtime. There's no, hey, I can't stay to 4:30. I have to chaisha, blah, blah, blah. No, you have to be available. So maybe that's what they mean. Yeah. Or is another way to explain the availability. Okay, great. And you can dependability is another one. Some people will give them a task and you will know that it will not get done. These are some of the softer stuff. We say they're soft, but they're not soft actually. Human scientists will know this. The soft skills are one of the hardest things, and organizations get destroyed because of them. Technical skills, not so much, because we expect you to have technical skills. We can upskill you there. But if you don't have the soft skills, guys, your career is not going to go very far. And then Malhu is saying you can also socialize by talking to different Unisa students. Yes, please. Socialize here and meet each other after this.
Maybe
and
I
make sure
should
you connect.
After this.
You haven't registered at Unisa. Now I'm a Unisa student. Mbali is a Unisa. You need to register.
Register so that I can be able to socialize because I struggle with that.
Okay, great. Then register, please. I think we're done with the Mentimeter. Integrity being the last one I want to mention. For me, integrity means doing what you said you will do, but when you said you will do it. So it's very important that you are integrous and your word matches your actions.
And doing the right thing, like even if no one is watching you, that's integrity.
Mbali, we cut you there for a moment.
Saying also integrity is about doing the right thing even if no one is watching.
Yeah, doing the right thing. At work, I know it's very easy to do certain things and believe that you're not seen. And then later on, your brand as a person becomes something else. We are all brands, believe it or not. And people experience us by how they talk to us. People experience us by how we make them feel and how we support them in the job function. I'll hand over to Bonso, and then so that we, in this, for the sake of time, we are not behind.
All right, thank you so much. And the meeting was very refreshing. We got to get everyone's skills that they think are important. So the outcomes from my presentation will be three, but the most highlight one is the impact of technology, automation, and global shifts on employability. So understanding the future of work, SMA have already highlighted most of them. So first we have the emerging trends, obviously in the job market. We have the remote work where most people are working remotely and some are still working in the office. For me, I'm in the office right now and someone is busy on their beds or chairs in their comfort rooms or house working there. So some of the remote works that we have currently, we have software developers. Most of them are working online because you can find one software developer working on two different projects, but working online at home. And also we have people doing, is it public relations also? You can merge it with your digital marketer where you can be managing companies or brands online by creating them content and also doing SEO. And we also have gig economy. Gig economies, we do use them every day. And I know we know most of them, which we have your Checker 6060, your ASAP, your Woolies Dash, and your Uber Eats. I'm sure Hori, some of you now have already ordered food on Uber Eats. So that those jobs are gig economy jobs. And we also have AI driven jobs where we have like chatbot developed by developers. When you say you need help on online or in Vodacom, you also see support. You can just say, "Hi, I'm struggling with 1, 2, 3." Then that chat box will be able to come back to you or respond to you immediately when you type your query there. And top industries for future career growth, we have your tech and AI and renewable energy and sustainability. I'll just highlight on this one your solar panels, people who build our solar panels for our solar geysers or anything that have to do a solar that has to do with AI because they do your automations and so on. And how digital transformation is shaping the job roles. We have customer service, AI enhanced support. We do receive calls when you are sitting randomly. You can, if you say hi, you can know the person who's calling is not a person, but it's an AI. Until you can say, can I be referred to a human? That's when you can see, oh, I was speaking to a robot or an AI learning machine. And also I have marketing, which is data-driven digital marketing. Back then, we used to have like newspapers. Nowadays, you can just receive email campaigns on your emails. You do receive your super list, and your game can send you emails on sales. Back then, you can like see your pamphlets where they will throw it on your houses. Must have career tools and resources. So I'll just continue from what Bali typed on our chat. The learning platforms that you should have for you to do the continuous learning every day. You have your Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, and Coursera. And also for job networking and search, you can also do have your eJobby. I'm sure everyone by now is registered as a job seeker on eJobby because you can do apply jobs every day there and you have your Glassdoor. You can also get jobs from LinkedIn and your Indeed, but please do register on the eJobby platform so that you can be able to apply for different job opportunities. And we have portfolio building smart data highlight on the GitHub. If you are on the tech space, you can put your profiles there. If you are working on a project and you want your project to be seen, you can just put your project there. Then people who are interested will be able to see what you're working on. Strategies for standing out to employers. First thing first, you have to create a compiling CV and a professional summary. You need to match your CVs with the job spec where you see them, but Bali will highlight on the CV part and how you should write your professional summary. And preparing for interviews with confidence. Don't just wake up and go for an interview. Do a thoroughly research on the organization that you'll be attending an interview. You'll be getting interview from. Research about the company, their values, their mission, and also you can also go to LinkedIn and search for people who will be interviewing you just to see what they're doing there, how they do their jobs. Then you'll be well prepared and you can do practice before your interview. And also you must master the power of storytelling and personal branding. You must know who you are and what you want when you go there for an interview. So these are some of the fields that are expected to strive alongside with AI. First, which is your healthcare and biotech. Secondly, your cybersecurity and AI ethics, and your education and training. And lastly, your entrepreneurship and AI consulting.
Yes, with AI consulting, I actually met a Chinese company that's consulting for people like Old Mutual, Santam, and they literally just, doing consultation around AI and how certain pieces of their business can be impacted or improved by AI. So that was quite interesting to see. It was the first time I saw a company that does something of that nature. I also met another company that does algorithms for Standard Bank. They literally just sit there and design and create algorithms for Standard Bank. So there are many interesting opportunities. And in the psychology space, there are also many algorithms as well. I've seen people that would do psychology and maths. We don't necessarily do it here in South Africa, but I've met people from other countries that have done psychology and maths. And then they'll tell you the idea was to then be able to develop algorithms in the psychology space.
So psychology and maths can go hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. Things are mixing.
That's new to me.
Yeah, and if you go to and look at some of the degrees in other countries, they do have that. You find that you can add maths as a subject as one of your majors, including psychology.
Nice. I hope someone who's doing psychology have taken notes from that. You can do your psychology and maths, but I don't know here in South Africa, but you can find out.
Yeah, I'm on the chatbot is saying so LinkedIn is legit.
Yes, Siamo, are you living under a rock? LinkedIn is the most powerful thing and it's growing phenomenally. It was actually one of the slowest when it started on social media. And now it's one of the most, growing professional networks in the world. What I love about it is you can connect to literally anybody, anywhere. And especially what I love about it is you can connect with talent recruiters, HR managers, people that are hiring for organizations. And it's a very lovely tool also to showcase yourself and to showcase your skill sets.
All right, thank you. So before I can hand over to Mbali, we can run another second last Mentimeter.
Okay.
We can just go back to Mentimeter, then I will hand over to Mbali.
So what are your comments so far? Can we get emojis on what Sponsor shared? It was just building on what I had just shared with you, but she was now focusing on employability more than anything. So can we get some emojis just to get a sense of what people are thinking, where they are, and what's going on for them? And in the chat, you can start bringing the questions around CVs and obviously job seeking, because that's where we have our strong forte. So the Mentimeter is saying, what is the biggest challenge you face when creating a CV? Hey guys, we see your CVs. I mean, we have a system, of course, and we have a technology, but we also help our employers, and we get to go through your CVs via our tools. And some of you, the things that you're writing on your CVs are not going to give you an opportunity to get invited for for job interviews. So CV writing is a very important skill, but as you're writing the CV, matching who you are on the CV is also very, 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 very important. So we already have some comments. This is your area, Mbali. Maybe just comment to what people are saying so far.
There are comments already.
The code on the Mentimeter is 15049142. And the question is, what is the biggest challenge you face when creating your CV? You can also be chatting on the chat.
Sama is saying, how do we write a CV that can attract the employer? That's exactly what Mbali is going to write. Excuse me, not write, but rather share with you. So basically, what we always advocate to people is to make sure that the CV actually gives the information that matters to the employer. And don't just make the CV about you, but as much as you're showcasing yourself, how are you then making the CV about the employer? And the employer seeing that this is the person that I want to bring on board because their CV is talking to me. But that's what Mbali will share right now. So some people are struggling with a professional summary. Yeah, a lot of people tend to struggle with that. I struggled with that at first, but when I started learning and understanding how to summarize myself, it became very easy. I've got over 20 years corporate work experience, but I still have a one-page CV for a reason, because I know people don't have time to go through long. Yes, it's one page in terms of my summary, but it's not obviously for job seeking purposes, but it's for other things that we do as an organization. Yes, our services are free, our money. The CV review is free. When you email us, make sure you put Unisa on the subject line, and the team will assist you and then also send you templates that you can start using. You can make a CV, Shanice, and it will show you, Mbali will show you how to make a CV without experience. Remember, it's about the skill sets, not the experience. There's 7 people that are saying highlighting skills, very important. The skills that we are talking about, right? Not just the experience, but highlighting the skills and then showcasing your talent, because some things are a God-given natural talent, right?
We don't have the same talents.
Yes, and we all don't have the same talent as well. So it's very important to know what are your natural talents, what are your interests, what can you do easily, and then link it to obviously the skill sets that you're able to then implement, and then link it to the fact that this is the value that I can show you, Mr. Employer, because I'm naturally talented and given when it comes to this. Again, it's got nothing to do with experience, but everything to do with the skill sets and how that skill set can add value to the employer. They've typed the email for you, Veronica. Okay. I think we've got enough on the Mentimeter. We can move on and Mbali can share because I'm sure people are eager. Any other comments around the CV writing whilst Mbali is sharing her screen? Yes, the floor is yours, Mbali.
I'm nervous. Okay, so hi everyone. I hope I am audible. And finally, we are covering the presentation that you have been waiting for. No wonder where are you? You should be happy because we are finally covering the CV writing. Cannot content. So it only takes employers or recruiters. Okay, sorry, I'm forward. These are the outcomes for the CV writing presentation. So we're going to come out of this presentation being able to craft best CVs that will get us those interviews, because the whole purpose for the CV is to get us that interview so we can get the job. And also we're going to cover the key areas for the CVs, and also what to do and what not to do when you are crafting that CV. So it only takes these people, employers, 20 seconds to scan through your CV, and even worse now because they have applicant tracking tools, of which are told on what key elements or keywords to look for on a CV. So very important how you write your CV using the job specs, because they are even not looking like on your CVs, and they are not scanning through your CVs anymore. It's the AI that does these things. So as I go with my presentation, I will show you how you then adjust your CV using the job spec. So this is what you should do when crafting that CV. So these are the do's. So if you have less than 5 years of experience, your CV must be 1 page. Even worse, you had Smangele is having 20 years and still having like a 1 page CV. So it's not about listing all those things that doesn't matter really. So you only list the things that they are looking for by looking at the job spec. So what you should include is the professional summary. So professional summary covers the who, the what, and the why. So those 3 stories are being formulated by your professional side and not your personal life. So it's really about who you are. Are you graduate? Are you a professional in if they graduate from what do they call them? Is it college or faculty? Okay, so let's say maybe for an example, I'm the HR graduate from Unisa. These are my skills that I have built over time. This is what I'm interested in, and that's my professional summary. And this is what I'm looking for. Maybe I'm looking for an entry-level opportunity, your internship in this industry. So that's my professional summary, and it's being formulated by my professional life and not my personal life in terms of how many are we at home, how did I grow up, and so it's about my professional side of things. And also your CV must include a short biography section. So you shouldn't include your full ID. You can just include your date of birth. That's enough to tell the recruiters how old you are. And in terms of location, you can just maybe write the city and not include that house number and and everything. So just the city and maybe the province. So that's enough for them to tell where are you based. And this one I've covered it already. Repeat those skills to match the job ad. So look at the job spec and adjust your CV for the job that you are applying for. The reason why you are not scoring those interviews is because you are using the same CV that you have been using for 10 years and you're busy applying for different jobs using that same CV. And just know that these jobs, the job spec are different from one job to another. So you see now using that same CV you've been using for 10 years, it's not gonna get you that interview you are looking for. So it's very important to look at the job spec and be able to adjust your CV in terms of the skills. So in there, you are not taking word by word. You can use synonyms and also the things that you are not able to do. Don't say you can do because you're gonna have a problem. So take the things that you know you can be able to deliver.
Just to add Mbali, so for what Mbali is saying is that don't lie on your CV, right? Because if you can say I'm proficient with Afrikaans and then people want to run the interview in Afrikaans, you're in hot water. And then also make sure you highlight the skill sets that are real. Remember, it's not about experience, but it's a skill set that you know. If I'm given an opportunity to write code, I can write it. If I'm given an opportunity to do a data analysis of sorts, I can do it. If I'm given an opportunity to read financial statements and be able to assess from the financial statements how the company can improve, those are the things you put down. The skill sets you know that you can do. Please do not lie, because then it does not look good at the end of the day.
So what if, okay, I don't know how to speak in Afrikaans, right? But I'm willing to learn.
Yeah, but you can't say on your CV that you're you're proficient in Afrikaans. You can say, I'm interested in Afrikaans. And remember, it also depends where you're applying. Like if it's an organization that you know the background is Afrikaans owned and so forth, and you want to fit into the culture, you can say, I'm interested in learning Afrikaans, but you can't lie about it and then say I'm proficient and you say you can. Or you can tell people I'm able to do financial reporting, and then people are going to ask you and give you an opportunity to do. Most of the interviews nowadays, they will test you. Slowly people are realizing, or interviews actually are not very effective. People want to really see if you can do the skill set or not. So we see a lot of case studies, people wanting people to do case studies, people wanting people to do presentations and so forth. So you really have to make sure that these are things that you do know. Your professional summary is very, very important. And Mbali was saying, adjust your CV and make sure you repeat your skills, right? So that the professional summary talks to what the employer is looking for, but do not lie. Remember, you will be applying for a job that matches your interest, that matches your background, that matches what you're looking for, and you would have done your research. So that's very, very important. In the biography section, very important you put your minimal information, because people steal people's data. Security on the internet is just getting out of control. So it's very important that you don't leave your ID there, because people might copy your ID. You don't leave your full address there, because people can use your address or even come and harm you. You just never know. So you put minimal information like your birthday, the location where you are at. Remember, the idea of what Mbali was saying as the first page is for you to get an interview. If the information is enough, the employers will definitely call you for an interview. And don't put your marital status, people. Also, it might be a disadvantage for you. Oh, I'm already ahead of Mbali. Someone put single on their CV one time. Like, what? Not even single. I'm looking. They said I'm looking. Yeah. Like, these are some of the things that will put you at a disadvantage. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, you are dealing with people, right? So like they'll laugh about you and end up not considering you for that role, because like they end up like laughing at your CV and forgetting like to read all the other information that you have included. So just to be safe, just give them what they want. If they say maybe a matric, or if they say a degree and you have an honors, just as a first thing, just show that the fact that you have a degree. For some of them, they are even like ticking boxes. They don't know these things. They are just looking for what they were instructed to look for, like this. So if you are putting the things that they are not looking for, like, yeah, you might be on the other side. So these are the don'ts, to things to not to do when you are writing your summary, your CV, the references, for these reasons. Like people, they forget. You put them, maybe you have worked on that company or where maybe for like 3 years back, and they really forgot about you. And then when they get that call, they have forgotten and they're like, who's that? So you see, it's like when now on the other side, you lied. So better if you put them your references upon request, so that you get a chance to warn them and say, I applied for a job where they might call in, so that they are ready when they receive those calls. Also, smart touch on this one, marital status. It doesn't matter. And also it can people can use this to discriminate maybe against you, and be already saying, she's married, she'll be telling us kids that, my husband that. And remember, you're dealing with people. And personal information, Sma already like mentioned on personal information, because people uses people's information for fraudulent stuff. So what you can put there, it's names, the name, and maybe the gender, because some names, yeah, you can't tell if a person is male or female. So that can be important. And then also your contact information, Sma, maybe your cell phone number and the email address, so that they are able to reach to you. Then the rest, they will ask you, and you know they are interested, and you can provide.
Yes. So for references, I know a lot of people might say, but that's what we are not taught. Based on our experience, it's best that they ask you. Normally, they'll ask you and say, "Give us your recent references." If it's not there, and it will also show you that they're interested in you as well. And then you can quickly call your references and prepare them. Very important. You call your references, you prepare them, and say, "I've applied for this opportunity. This is what I'm going to be doing." And then this is how they're going to be maybe potentially asking questions. So that's why you just don't put references. They take up space. And then you also put up numbers from high school, from your old teachers and so forth. And it's not going to do you justice. They're not going to sell you well. With the marital status, like Mbadi said, you're dealing with human beings. Human beings have biases. We might not tell you directly, but she's right. Half of the time, people will be laughing at the fact that you wrote this on your CV and actually miss the fact that these are important information. When you send your CV as well, like Mbali was saying, read the job advert correctly. Do not attach your qualifications if they're not asking for them.
And bank statement.
And bank statement, we've had that before. Do not. What I've seen is people scan their CV with all their documents in one. Please don't do that. Because you also make it very difficult for people to scan. Our system can do that, by the way. The AI that we've built in is able to read documents and so forth. However, if you're going to be dealing with a human on the other side, please put your CV as a PDF, save it properly as a PDF. And then if they ask you for qualifications, ID and so forth, please attach. Make sure that the quality of IDs as well are good if they're asking you to attach. I don't know where you scan, but also your scanners will make the documents like 10 megs, 20 megs difficult to open. So sometimes your emails might not go through because of how you scanned your documentation.
Okay, thanks, Sima, for that. And also, do not put a picture. Ne? I saw someone was was asking because they can judge you from that, like a slay queen, long nails, lipstick, and be asking themselves if this person will be really able to do the work since they have long nails, they have this, that. They can judge you from that. So rather not put your picture, please. So if you do not have the work experience, don't worry. You just drop the word work and you leave experience. And now you start thinking about the outcomes of your degrees. And I think we have someone doing the teaching here, and also teaching people. They do practicals, right? So you can write your degree and also list what you are doing as your practicals at schools. Even if you are not a teacher, we have projects that we do. So again, your degree or your course and the project and what exactly that you have been doing on those projects, and you can list that as responsibilities. And if you have volunteered, you can include that. If you have done work in community, at church, include that. Project I've already covered. And workshop skills. So this is really for people in engineering because they do some work at the workshop. So you can also include whatever that you were doing, like as practicals.
Yes, just to add to that, Mbali, for those that have done retail as well, please add it. Because remember, they want to see if you've been in professional settings, you've worked with people, you've engaged colleagues. And then Mbali said a very important thing. You're doing your degrees right now. Do you understand the outcomes of your degrees? Do you understand what skill sets you're going to have because you're doing your degrees? That's how then you sell yourself. She said, drop the word work. You just leave experience and you say, okay, because I'm doing this qualification, I've got these skill sets. Remember what I said, skills. I think Lazel has a question, or Daisel, excuse me, because I'm looking at LD. She has a comment or a question. Thank you.
I just wanted to add to that. I often speak to students who, for example, work in family businesses, but they don't think about that as experience. So you really need to be very creative here in terms of, what kind of experiences you would want to add to your CV that are relevant.
Yes, thank you for that. spaza shops at home, work. Maybe you're in accounting, you help your dad with numbers or budgeting for the taxi business. You know, your grandmother is they're selling maybe on the streets and they're street vendor. They look like they're small, but they're not, because it can showcase the fact that you've actually applied certain skills and you know how to do certain things. The only thing is when you describe them in a way that the context of the language would match the kind of environments that you're trying to go into. Again, don't lie. Talk about things that you know, their skill sets. Even when you're sleeping and we wake you up in the morning and say do X, you are able to do them. If you don't have experience as well, the courses we're talking about online, take them. The certifications on LinkedIn, take them. Those are the things that are also going to help you as well build the skills that you need. But never leave the experience area blank. Rather talk about the fact that the outcomes of the degree, and these are the skill sets that you currently have, and where you've done projects, you've collaborated, you've done something, you write it, because then it says you've done something relatable to what you're applying for.
Okay, so this slide is to help when you writing your responsibilities for the CV. So when you are writing those responsibilities, try and think of how much task you have done, for whom did you do it, and if you have used any system, you can also include that. So maybe I'll make an example about Acacia. So if you are Acacia and you're writing a CV, how much of a task you have done. Maybe if you have sold products, you can mention, I've sold products with this much, and I was reporting to this manager using this system, if you were using any systems to record your activities. Do you want to add?
No.
Do this. Okay, so I've been mentioning this since the start of my presentation. Adapt your CV, adjust and everything, but main thing, do not lie. Just say the things that you are able to execute on them.
Just to add, there's an example. So let's say the people are wanting people that are staying in Tembisa, for example, and maybe not even maybe Tembisa, and then you are staying somewhere in Pretoria. Maybe that's not a good example. Yeah, or they're looking for people in Sandton. And then you are staying maybe, because sometimes employers prefer a 30-kilometer radius so that you don't struggle with travel, but maybe you're staying in Centurion. You can still say you're in Joburg on your CV and not put a Centurion, right? If you're applying for a job, let's say it's in Pretoria West, but you're in Centurion, you can put Centurion, because, Pretoria, because then you are showcasing the fact that you are nearer to them. And then when they like you, sometimes, people do not care how far you come from. You just want to be sure that you are seen in that interview. If a job is saying a degree, like Mbali was saying, and you have a master's, you first start with the degree. I know sometimes we want to start with the master's, we want to showcase that we've got a master's, but remember, you want to show them the requirements that they are looking for easily. So adapting your CV is one of the fastest job searching tools. Because if you don't do that, you'll keep on sending your CV, and people might not look at your CV because it's not matching what people are looking for. So it's one of the best job search strategies. I know it takes time. People are like, I have to update my CV all the time. Yes, it takes a bit of energy, but if you want to get opportunities quicker, very important that you adjust your CV always to match what the employer is looking for. You want them to pick up the most important information about you. If you're applying for a job in a different industry, maybe you're in IT, Mara, you want to go into education, you have to try and model your languaging of your CV to match whatever that you're going to apply for in education and to match the job spec. Again, that is the fastest job searching strategy to get you the job very, very quickly. Mem Dazzle has more comments.
Just a question. I'm not sure if I'm preempting, but you were speaking about AI tools earlier. If you could just maybe comment on the use of, for example, ChatGPT to help you write your CV or your resume.
Thank you for that. You can use it. However, please, people, make sure you edit whatever ChatGPT is writing, and make sure that the languaging you make it talk to you as well, and don't just copy as it is. But ChatGPT is an amazing tool to help you put a CV together. The prompters are what's important, right? You can say, I am an education student, third year level, with this experience. And then you maybe highlight the experience and say, please write a CV for me. But then afterwards you edit it, right? Even if it's the professional summary, you can give it details and say, help me write a professional summary to showcase my skill set in education. I'm applying for a job at a school, blah, blah. Then it will give you, a summary. But again, when that summary comes up, please make sure you review it. The other thing with CVs is please don't use these infographics. I know they're nice, they're tools. We also have a chatbot that does CVs as well. At the end, sorry, by the way, those that are interested for the templates, you can email us or WhatsApp us. I don't know if our WhatsApp number is working for, so they can WhatsApp us and be able to get a voucher for your bot. But you can use the CV at ijobi.co.za to get a bot voucher. And then what differs from our system is that we built it in such a way that it emulates the CV that you see here. You can change the colors, do whatever, but remember, colors must be professional. Blues are much better. Dark blues, different shades of blue. Tend to avoid too colorful colors. If you see some of the apps, they give you normally a very dark blue as a CV structure. And then also make sure that at the end of the day, you put a CV in such a way that it's also relevant to your industry as well, because creative industries, their CVs tend to be different. Mbali?
Okay, on this one, so on the slide, this is just us showcasing the example of a bad CV and the example of a CV that you should consider. So it's not really about the template and how the CV looks like. It's about the information inside. So do away with the infographics, as Ma was saying. Those flowers we put to cover our information on the CV and we decorate. So this the AI tools that the recruiters are using, they can read through those things. They can read through boxes. If you put information inside boxes, they can read through. So they will miss your CV and they won't bring it up to employers. So the structure of your CV must be simple and cover the information that they are looking for.
There are some questions in the comments. Yes, your CV must be in third person, please, not in first person. Don't say I am. You write yourself in third person. You're describing yourself here. That's the first question. You can have race, right? It's there, volonte. Again, there's some what do they call them? BE roles that require, for people to know your race, because there are some strategic ones, but sometimes read the situation again, adapt your CV, looking at where you're applying and who you're applying to. You don't always have to put some of these details. And then someone is saying, me too, this doesn't bring out biases. Doesn't this bring out biases? It does. You're right. It's Shanice. It does. However, remember, we're in South Africa. We've got BE policies. And sometimes people want to have EE candidates. That's the word for it, yeah. EE candidates. So it's very important that you judge again, you adapt your CV accordingly. And then someone is saying there are WhatsApp AI assists to cover letters and so forth. Yes, there are. However, please make sure you edit. Like she says, do not just take information as is. It can help you on the creative writing journey, but don't copy everything as it is. Yes, Shanice, it's in third person. And remember, we are giving you nuggets of what employers are looking for. We're not necessarily experts on CV writing in a sense that we developed CV methods and so forth. No. However, we are giving you nuggets of what employers are looking for and what gets you a job quickly, because we work with them and we support them in making sure that they appoint the right people. Someone says, is it advisable that one includes his or her research publication? Yes, that is amazing. You can. You can. And also, some of these research publications, they can talk to products, they can talk to services, and so forth. And I've seen some PhD research be turned into products there at UCT. So yes, especially depending on where you're applying for and the type of role that you're looking for. Can you take the next voice is going from Nombulelo? How do I get your numbers? Oh, okay. Nombulelo, they've shared. Shanice is saying why. Well, here you're selling yourself. Remember, why is it in third person? You're selling yourself and you're positioning yourself, but you want the reader to read it in such a way that it can connect to the brain and they can get your full story. So that's why in third person, Shanice. Please email us, okay? I'm asking why in third person, Shanice. Okay, I hope I've answered you, Shanice. Is it true that your CV doesn't pass the ATS system if you wrote it using the apps? Yes, that's what we were talking about. Those infographics, those apps where the CV comes out with pictures, infographics, and so forth. Sometimes ATSs are not able to read them quite easily. So that's why you need to make sure that when you're applying for via ATSs, your CVs are plain. But when you're applying physically or sending an email, you can use those ones with infographics. So have two CVs if you wish to, and make sure that the one that you use for ATS applicant tracking systems, it does not have infographics because it makes it difficult for them to search through. They've shared our email address. Is it the same in terms of making a CV for volunteering? I'm not getting the question, Shanice. Is it the same in terms of making a CV for volunteering? I'm not getting the question. But if what are you getting, guys? Shanice asked the question.
Look, maybe if they are not applying for a role, but they're asking to volunteer.
It's the same. You're selling yourself, remember, Shanice. So you want to put your best foot forward. So I would assume that it's the same because you're wanting to get some spot there. Remember, it's also difficult for employers to offer volunteerism because it takes a lot of energy and effort to train people. To even internships, we don't take as much anymore, or interns rather, because the energy it takes to train someone, to make them fit into your culture. There's a lot of work that employers have to put through. So I hope we've answered almost all the questions. When it comes to job searching, I think Daisel wrote something earlier on about someone making sure that they understand their interest. Don't just apply for jobs, because we see people in the workspace unhappy, not fulfilled because they're not in the right spaces.
Cashiers at Shoprite.
The cashiers at Shoprite are the worst. They're always like, next, or how may I help you? And then you go to Woolworths, it's like, they hate their jobs. So don't apply for things that you might not like later. I know we want money. I know we want to be, we all want. I've seen people even in serious senior jobs, right? So this is not also at a lower level, like proper senior jobs, and they hate what they're doing. So the application process of the way you land with your job starts with you. Know what you're interested in. Know who you want to be as a person, what you want to experience as a person. Align your interests to that. And then when you're applying for a job, then identify at least 10 companies you want to work for. The ones that you've seen. I remember when I started coming to Joburg, I'll see all these brands. I'll be so excited. I'll be curious about what's happening in that company. Write a list of all the companies that you want to work for, right? And then go to LinkedIn. Start following the HR managers, the hiring managers on LinkedIn. And then you use your professional summary, right, as a tool to introduce yourself. In this case, you can speak in first person. Hi, my name is, I'm interested in a role in your company for 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the skill sets that I'm possessing, and I believe that I'll be a good addition to your company. We call that unsolicited job seeking. In the past, we used to drop off physical CVs and go to companies. Now you can do it digitally and inbox people. But when you do things digitally, be professional. Clean up your social media, right? Because the first thing the person is going to do is going to read your profile, look at your profile. And if your profile is not in the best of shapes, already it's a no-brainer. They might not even want to call you. But also they might not have jobs immediately. But when they do, the talent teams are always sourcing and putting a talent pipeline. They'll come back to it and say, hey, I had a young person who actually approached me, and this is what they're doing. I looked at their profile, very interesting, and then they'll inbox you and say, hey, are you interested to apply for this particular role? Right? So very, very important that you first start aligning yourself with what you want, align with the companies you want to work for, go on LinkedIn, go on social media, start following those companies, and then inbox them. You can do the same with email as well. If you've got people's emails, again, please tread carefully. Write professional emails. ChatGPT can help you as well to say, help me put an email together to write to so-and-so, to tell them I'm interested in a role, and these are my skill sets and my qualifications. So very, very, very important. There are questions there, and I think we are reaching the end, Daisel. Let us know if we are stepping over time, but I think we've reached the end. But we've got Nomfundo who says, this is interesting. I've started following people I want to align with. Yes, definitely. Well done. Kudos on you, Nomfundo. Very good question. I'm in a similar boat. Was that a question? I currently work for because I changed departments. How do I know I follow up without sounding desperate? Oh, okay. I always say give it the 2 weeks rule. Give it the 2 weeks rule. If you follow up, give it 2 weeks. Also, yes, don't hound people and start harassing people, especially digitally, because they'll block you. So give it a 2 weeks rule. Let's say after 2 weeks they don't respond, give it a month. But at least once a month you can, check in with people. And then if you want to change departments, Nomfundo, you need to understand how you're going to add value to that department. What are the transferable skills you possess to take to that department, and start selling yourself, right? And positioning yourself at the company parties, company sessions. That's where you network and you really get to represent yourself. Thank you. I think we've reached the end. Last comments, Mem Daisel, you can take over. I think this is our last Mentimeter. We're just wanting to find out what people are taking away. Let's make sure we chap in the Mentimeter and the code, please. And we want to know what people are taking away from the session. Remember, please don't shoot us. We are sharing things that work, sharing things that we are experiencing. We're living them. We're not sharing things that we are still training for or practicing, but giving you the nuggets of the things that we are living in our experience, helping employers across South Africa.
Thank you so much, Smangele. I was just opening the mics as well. We have gone a bit over time, but we are almost done. But while others are responding to the Mentimeter question, what are your key takeaways? If you would want to ask a question to the team, you are welcome to raise your hand. So just click on the raise button on Teams, then we will take 1 or 2 questions. So anything that might not have been covered, that you feel you won't be able to leave this meeting without knowing the answer. And then I just want to clarify the CV at Ijobi email address that you shared. Is that specifically just for the reviews, or would that be for any kind of inquiries that they might have related to your job platform then?
Yeah, it's for anything career related, but in the subject, they must be clear. If they want a CV review in the subject, they must say Unisa subject review. CV reviews, excuse me. And then if it's for mock interview, they must say Unisa mock interview in the subject. And then if it's, let's say, template, again, in the subject, they must say CV template. If they want a CV voucher, they must say, okay, in the subject, I'm requesting a CV voucher. And then if they need help, they can say, need help in the subject for registration. I'm stuck.
Okay, thank you very much. I see there is a hand. I think the surname is Nswing. You're welcome to unmute and ask your question.
Good day, everybody.
Hi.
Am I audible?
You can go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to know, with regards to writing a CV, one, would you advise one to always attach a cover letter? And two, in cases whereby one is attaching a cover letter, does it also need to be written in third person? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. remember what we said. If the advert is saying attach a cover letter, you attach a cover letter. If it doesn't say attach a cover letter, do not attach a cover letter. And then, yes, write it in third person. I hope I've answered your question. The job guides you.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I'm answered.
the job.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. But the job guides you. The job tells you what they want. And you don't want to waste their time. You want them to find what they're looking for. If the role is saying we're looking for someone with a diploma, if you have a diploma, you put your diploma first in your chronology of qualifications.
On that note, can I ask a follow-up question, please?
Okay.
With regards to putting in qualifications, say I have a master's, but the position I'm applying for only wants a degree, and I only list a degree without, while omitting my honors and masters, wouldn't then they consider that as misrepresentation, since I represented myself as someone who only has a degree while I have a master's degree?
So what I said is the chronology of it, right? You put the diploma first, the chronology of it, then you put your master's after. Again, if you omit stuff, you're not necessarily lying. You can also say, by the way, if you are talking, I also have a master's. But remember, sometimes putting the full information can be at your advantage. They might even see another job in another department and say, actually, because you have a master's, we want to consider you for something else. But when they're reading, because they are scanning, remember we said they can take 20 seconds to scan. With our tools, they don't even scan. The system will bring what they're looking for. Chronology, you start with the degree first, and then your higher qualifications after. If they want a master's, you start with the master's first. I hope that makes sense. But sometimes
okay, so if I have
information is not lying, you're just omitting information.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is if I have a master's, then I will start with my master's, honors, and degree. But if they want a degree, then I start with the degree.
Yes.
Okay, no, thank you.
Remember,
It's
this
loud and
person is
clear.
hit by 1,000 CVs, right? They're hit by 1,000 CVs. Sometimes they miss information or because, well, our tool, I keep on talking about our tools, they won't miss the information. But sometimes people in their reading stuff, they miss information. So you want to make sure they find what they're looking for first. Then whatever is a nice cake on top, you put it on top.
Simangele, before we end off the session, there was just a question from Muktua about she's applying for voice acting jobs. Am I allowed to refer to my YouTube channel that has examples of voiceover videos as part of my experience?
Yes, that's your portfolio of work, especially that creative space. Not only want portfolios of work, so it's good, but then the YouTube channel must be good, right? It must represent you well. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a session, was it last week? Sorry, I've lost my time. About using, digital portfolios to highlight your skills. So, but as Mangela now said, is really make sure that these portfolio pieces, whether it be video or writing or, whatever it is that you choose to put in your portfolio, really represents you well as the professional. Okay, I'm just going to make a couple of announcements before we end off, but please continue to post your key takeaways. Just want to share my screen again. So just two more resources that I want to share with you. In the chat, I've also posted a link to a career research brochure. But the next two brochures, the one is the PNet Grad Pack. So also make sure that you go and download this. A lot of additional information about CV writing, which we spoke about today, but also about interview tips, cleaning up your social media, building your personal brand, and so forth. And then the second brochure that you can also download is called Grad Next. And this book also covers all the different skills or aspects that you need to keep in mind as you are moving along your journey of applying for positions or for future opportunities. I will also post the links in the chat. And then just our next session, such as this one, on the 8th of April, we'll be talking about developing emotional intelligence for career growth. And it's not on the screen right now, but on the 15th of April, there will also be a session about self-confidence and your career development. So the details for these events are available on the My Unisa events calendar. So please go and check out the links that you need to use to register for these. Then just in terms of getting support, our email address is counselling@unisa.ac.za. So please feel free to drop us an email at any time. You can also book an appointment with the student counsellor, either an online appointment or then visit the regional office closest to you to make an appointment with a counsellor for an in-person session. And then on our website, as well as our YouTube channel, there are several resources that you can also use, not just for your career development and employability skills, but also for your personal development and your academic development. So on that note, Smangeli, is there anything kind of like last words from the team for today?
Thank you. I don't know, Tim, do you have any last words? But for us, thank you very much for inviting us and for including us. And we look forward to having more sessions with you and your students.
You will definitely hear a lot more from us. But thank you very much. I'm just going to ask my colleague, Mr. Becky Mzobi, if he could just end off the session for us. Becky?
Thank you, Lisa, and good afternoon, everyone. As we conclude this insightful and thoughtful, provoking career talk, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all who made this event a success. First, I would like to extend our most profound appreciation to our guest speakers, Ms. Mangale Mphahlele and her team, for sharing their knowledge, expertise, and valuable insights on job searching and CV writing in a rapidly changing world. Your guidance has certainly provided us with practical strategies to adapt and thrive in today's competitive job market. Once again, thank you, Smangele, the team, and Ijobi. A special thank you to Ms. Lisa Dazel for warm welcome and for facilitating today's discussions, ensuring a smooth and engaging session. A special thank you also goes to Mrs. Makanya for introducing our guest speakers. To our attendees, thank you for your participation, engagement, and thought-provoking questions. Your enthusiasm and willingness to learn are what make events like these so impactful. Finally, to Unisa Directorate Counselling and Career Development, we truly appreciate the effort and dedication put into organizing this session, particularly the Career Services section. Your commitment to empowering students with career guidance and development opportunities is commendable. As we live today, let us take the knowledge we have gained today and apply it to our own career journeys with confidence, adaptability, and growth mindset. Once again, thank you all for your time, contributions. We look forward to a more enriching conversation in the future. Best wishes for your career endeavors, and back to you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Becky. Also from my side, thank you for a wonderful presentation. I've certainly learned a lot, and I guess everybody on the who attended it as well. We also hope that it's not the last time that we see all of you on this platform, and we wish you all the best with your studies. Thank you very much, and thank you, Maleo. Thank you for your comment. You mentioned thank you, DCCD, for making us VIPs. It's a pleasure. We really appreciate your participation. So with that, I'm going to end off the session and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.